What's up guys, welcome back to FarmStrong. My name's Jack and thanks for joining me on the channel again. Back with another weekly video after a few weeks off, so apologies for that. But currently stood just by one of our first year ryegrass crops. Dad's about to come down with the front topper on one of the tractors, as we've got quite a bit of brome, so grass weed, that's got into the headland, got into the edge of the crop here. So we don't want that. That's basically a weed seed for us that will be in the seed samples. So we've got to try and take that out, and yeah, don't want that going in the combine and then going out the back and all being spread as well. So I think Dad's initial idea was just going to come and spot spray some of that out, but just with the amount of it that's in the crop, it's just going to come and mow that out to take those plants out. So it's obviously pretty hard to show you the brome standing in the crop. You might be able to pick up some of the sort of larger seed heads that you can see there, and that's the brome. But if you have a look in my hand, on the left we've got some perennial ryegrass, and on the right we've got the brome. So that is what we don't want ending up in the seed we harvest. And obviously you don't want to be spreading that out the back of the combine and getting more of it next year. So that's what Dad's going to be aiming to mow out from the headland here. See, a lot of it just works its way in from our grass margins. We have already mow a 2 metre strip here between the margin and the crop, also to try and help stop anything getting into the crop, weeds such like that we don't want in there. Obviously everyone's been pretty aware that it's been pretty hot and dry the last few weeks, which obviously hasn't been ideal for all our crops around the farm. I think the grass this first year grass is probably not looking too bad considering, but certainly not ideal conditions. The really hot weather, the plus 30 days we've had, are just cooking crops, to be honest. And probably any rain that we might get this week is probably too late for it all, but we'd be glad for the temperatures certainly coming down a little bit. I don't work well in this weather either, hence the brimmed hat has made it out. So there's Dad in the 828 with the topper on now. And it's literally, I think, going to mow out a few stripes all the way along the field on this bottom headland. You can actually see the brome here. So it's this stuff in front of me that's sort of standing taller than the ryegrass with the large seed heads. Just had a walk into the headland, and it's actually probably, you see the edge there, probably about 10 or so metres into the crop here that Dad's going to have to mow out. So not ideal, but got to be done. A quick view of the spring beans as I'm driving past them. You can see they've flowered now. Yeah, not ideal spring weather conditions for the beans. Will have obviously struggled with the lack of rain. Probably the tallest ones, yeah, not quite even getting towards my knee yet really. Obviously out on the headland here a bit, but yeah, I doubt they're going to yield that well, and hopefully we won't be combining them right on the floor, but to be seen. I think in more recent years, Dad's decided to grow spring beans as we have had some better yields out of it, but with the dry springs we seemingly are now getting fairly regularly, perhaps some winter beans would be a better idea and yield better for us, but we'll see. Bit breezy, so apologies for any noise, but just organising a little trip to the scrapyard. So you've got some old grain bins that we bought some years ago now and never used, so just getting these big bins loaded up. Got 2 on the trailer there, got 1 on that flatbed over there, and just about to pick this other one. So they're not heavy, but just awkward just with their size. But we're going to load up 2 trailers, and me and Paul are going to run them to the scrapyard to finally get rid of them after them hanging around the farm for, I don't know, 20 years or so. Just got the tine extensions on the pallet forks, and they're luckily balanced enough to just pick up okay. Got the boom out a bit. Try and shove it up as tight as I can to this other one and get her lined up nicely. A little bit awkward sticking them on, but just going to get the straps worked out and go and get the trailers from tractors from the other farm, and hopefully we'll be on our way. Probably have to make sure some of this cabling isn't going to get in anyone's way. Paul and I made it safely back from the scrapyard, minus our load. Just plucked it off with their grab and 360 and crushed it all up before our eyes. So it's a lot easier taking them as is than us trying to cut them all up. So good job done that. It's something we've been meaning to do for a little while. I think Paul's going to take the salop trailer, fill that up with some of our smaller loose scrap as well. We'll see how much we weighed in. It's Wednesday morning and you're just joining me on the roof of one of our buildings. It's one of our commercial lets. Heavy rain yesterday. They noticed a few leaks, nothing major, just a few drips. They look to be coming through the seams of the roof panels. So I'm up here just checking a few bolts and trying to tighten them down. And although the roof isn't that old, I am finding some of the rubber washers on the bolts are degrading, which is meaning some of the bolts are loose and perhaps some water is ingressing through them. So going to go through and tighten them all up, but I'll show you what I'm finding. So I'm finding a few bolts that have completely worked their way loose. Not sure how they've quite done that. And then you can also see on that bolt, that little rubber washer is very degraded. Sort of, I guess the sun, or well, not really the sun actually, because I have these little caps on, but I just guess the weather, cold, heat, whatever, is degrading those washers. So when I'm tightening that down, that washer isn't making much of a seal. So hopefully a bit of an example of what's happening when I tighten these down with the degraded rubber. You see, sort of just mushing out as I tighten up the bolts a little bit, but we'll have to roll with it and hopefully it does fix any leaks we have got. That's me done on the roof. I've just tightened 126 bolts, and out all 126, one wouldn't actually tighten, so we're going to try and do something about that. But other than that, done what we can. Have to wait till it rains next. It is Friday morning. I've just come back from cleaning out the sprayer. Dad was spraying some pod stick this morning on the OSR, but I just gave him a hand to finish up because he had to get off. We've got a few jobs on today, which I'll show you, but a couple of things to update you on that have been going on. Pigeons flying out the shed. So you may remember, if you watched a previous video, we had a big long I-beam hanging around in the yard for some while, and we bought that because we needed or wanted to put a stirrer up in this grain store. We do have one the other side, but we didn't have one this side. So we moved the stirrer out of one of other grain stores because we bought a new one there, but that I-beam wasn't long enough to run on the gantry in here. So new I-beam, but all the rest of the components Paul and I transferred from the stirrer that we had. So we had to move these carriages, all the electronics and the motors, etc., and fit them onto this new I-beam. We did have to drill a fair few holes in the I-beam for that, so we did purchase a mag drill to do that, which made really light work of it. So I'll probably go and show you that mag drill because it's in the workshop now, and I can recommend that to anyone that just wants to drill holes quickly and efficiently. And as an investment, it was probably pretty good. But anyway, this is up now. We just need the electrician to come and wire it in. And then we'll run these back to the shed and they're good to go for harvest. Another little side quest that we had to get completed, as I'd like to call it. We moved the mobile home down from the other farm down to this farm. So we've now got two mobile homes here. This is our accommodation for our harvest students. So we've got two coming this year, one for the whole of harvest and one for just a few weeks. So we had to get this caravan towed down from the other farm. We put all the drainage in. So we already had drainage for this caravan, and that goes into a manhole back over here across the other side of the wall. So what we had to do is dig a long trench here, uncover that pipe as well, and then we've put a Y in, we've tapped into that. So a fair bit of digger work there for Paul, but we got that all plumbed in. Electrician is coming today, hopefully, to get it wired in. And then we made a little bit more of a pad out here, dug some of the topsoil out, and put a bit of hardcore and chippings in, just so that was positioned nicely. So last jobs on these is I've got to get them cleaned, and then I've got to hook some internet up, get some Wi-Fi going there too. But yeah, good job done. It's all felt fairly last minute, but it always kind of does when harvest comes around. First proper job on this morning. We've bought a little second-hand old chemical store from a nearby farmer. So we went and had a look at that earlier in the week and thought that was all good. So we bought it, and then I'm going to just to go and collect it. I'm going to take the 820 over with the low loader on it. So I'm going to go pull that out, the straw shed where it currently sits, and we'll just check that trailer's all good to go on the road. I did give the old girl a little wash yesterday. She hasn't come up too badly. So, low loader's in there. Hard doing this all with one hand. Just going to give the deck a quick sweep off. We're going to plug the brakes and lights in, check they're all good. We're going to load up straps and we'll be good to go. So hydraulic brakes, lights, and then got the hydraulic line for the rams. Won't actually need them, but plugged it in, so no chance of it flapping around on the road. Let's go switch some lights on and see if they're working. So while I'm in the workshop, I'll show you the mag drill I was talking about that we got. So Rotor-Broach Element 40, got it from ITS. I think all in, it was probably somewhere in the 400-ish pounds, 450, not including the VAT, but that's what it looks like. So it's basically got a big magnet, sort of little pillar drill here. You can have lubrication on this one as well. But yeah, it just made real light work of trying to cut, 10 to 30 mil holes on this beam. And we get it with, so you get these special broach cutters with it. So I just bought, this is like a cheap little set. So that's what they look like. So you can either use broach cutters like that, or you can use just a standard drill bit in them. But just mean you get a nice straight cut exactly where you want it. No messing about. So I could definitely recommend one of those if you want to make the investment. That's the model number there. I had it back in the yard. Fairly short trip, just about 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back. Off to get loaded up, so nice and easy. Fits on the low loader just about, really. A couple of straps and a safe drive home. So nothing fancy, but yeah, we can have a look inside. But it's in fairly good shape, really. I think it spent most of its life inside a shed rather than out in the weather. So inside it has actually got some heating and lighting. I'm not sure we're actually going to hook it up where we're going to have it, but and it has got some shelving. We may just do a little bit of a smartening up in here and may end up cutting out this first section of shelf just so we've got a bit more space to chuck chemical in. And then yeah, we'll give her maybe a little wash out and then probably paint the floor and the shelving where it's not looking too hot. But yeah, good buy for us. Lucky that there was something local. Similar new, if you're going to do a 20-foot shipping container, bunded, new is probably going to be 7.5, 8 grand all in maybe. So we picked this up at yeah, less than a third of the price of that really. So that was pretty handy. Just pulled the class out of that shed and got the 8-to-8 and just stuck a front weight on it because I'm about to stick our new Kuhn McGann drill on the back, but I'm not about to go drilling. We're actually going to go to an open farm Sunday at a local friend's farm. So yeah, on Sunday me and Paul are going to take the 8-to-8 with the drill, and the 820 is going to have the vert spreader on the back, and we're going to go and park the tractors up, talk to the public, and yeah, answer any questions they've got on farming. So it should be fun. Going armed up with a couple of tractors, so we'll convoy over Sunday morning. Just pulling in at Lodge Farm now for the open farm Sunday. Just convoyed over with Paul, he's led the way. Trucks out with a big sign. So I've got both events parked up here with some other gear around. Got a track marshal with a plough on. And got a few cultivators out. And then got a combine. Couple of big balers down the end here. So public are just arriving, and then yeah, a few farmers are going to be up here chatting about all the kit to anyone that wants to know about it. Wander down and show you the balers. Got a Crone there, and then a old Heston, bit of a classic. Nice front rake on this one. just back in the farmyard at home after getting back with the 8 to 8 from Open Farm Sunday. Just topped the car up with diesel as I'm off to Norfolk tomorrow on holiday, off for a week, so definitely no video next week. But yeah, had a good time at Open Farm Sunday. I think 200 or 300 members of the public and kids, etc. Were having a look around the farm where we were, so it was good chatting to them. Kids get very excited looking at the tractors, which is great. So had a great time. Definitely recommend, if you're keen to get on a farm and see what it's all about, look out for an Open Farm Sunday near you next year. But as always, thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you soon.